My name is Rafael, you watch Mercury Garage, and today we're going to talk about 6 alternative rock bands that David Bowie loved. But first, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comment. Well, the first one is the Pixies, the American band the Pixies, and they were one of Bowie's favorite alternative rock bands. And in an interview with Carson Daly back in 2002, he said, "A major band for me in the 80s in this country, the United States, was the Pixies. I thought they were absolutely necessary, a very important band. Black Francis is a fantastic songwriter and they produce some really exciting music. Obviously, Nirvana was terribly influenced by them, and a number of other bands were influenced by them. But having never played on American radio, they never sold any albums and they broke up. At the time, they were not together again. This was 2002. At the moment, they were not together. Now they are reunited, thankfully. I'm seeing that beginning to happen again over here. They don't get played, they don't sell albums. If you're not careful, they're gonna go under, and many creative and inventive artists will disappear after 2-3 years because nobody's out there supporting them. Radio is not supporting them as it should be. There's crap on American radio, real crap. Well, there still is, right? And the interesting thing about Bowie is that unlike many artists from his generation, from older generations, not just artists that appeared in the 60s, he was always really excited about new music. He was always listening to younger bands. He was, always trying to hear different songs, different new bands. He was always exploring music. He was not really stuck in the past, in the songs that the bands and artists who influenced him when he was developing his style. And he really didn't have a style, right? But let's move on to the second one, which is 9 Inch Nails, another American band that he praised. And obviously the band is known, it was formed and known for their leader, Trent Reznor, who also is a famous composer now for movies. For the past decades, he composed, he scored a lot of movies, famous movies, and really gained a lot of awards for that. And Bowie first discovered them after seeing a video clip from their album Pretty Hate Machine, released in 1989 on MTV. That was first when he heard their music. And a few years later, in 1995, he decided to invite Reznor for a tour called The Outside. The United States leg of that tour had 9 Inch Nails as the opening act, but their set was connected with Bowie's show in order to form a continuous show. And it was really one of those things that only Bowie could do. He was always reinventing himself, and do a tour like that, it was quite interesting. And Reznor ended up making an alternative remix of the Bowie song The Heart's Filthy Lesson in 1995, the same year they toured together. And 2 years later, he also remixed the track I'm Afraid of Americans and appeared on the official video for the song. The third band that Bowie also liked was called Granddaddy. Now, Granddaddy was formed in Modesto, California in 1992. And he also said the band deserved more exposure at the time on American radio. And obviously, Granddaddy's less famous than the other two we mentioned it. The group's lineup remained intact for almost 3 decades, with Jason Little, Aaron Birch, Jim Fairchild, Kevin Garcia, and Tim Dridden. It only changed after the death of Garcia, who suffered a heart attack in 2017. Stroke in 2017. And they were active from 1992 to 2006, and they released 5 albums at the time. And they reunited in 2012 and has been active ever since. And they released 2 new albums, the last one in the most recent one in 2024. And in an interview with a under the radar in 2024. Jason Little, who is the band's singer, recalled that Bowie came to a few shows. You know, he went to see Granddaddy live a few times, and he really went backstage, and really they had the chance to meet him. And he said that Bowie was a really easy person to talk to. He really would, you know, you would be really comfortable to talking with him, because he was a person who really was easy to talk to. And the next one, not the final one, I'm sorry, is the Flaming Lips. It is the older band that we selected from this list. It was formed in Oklahoma City in 1983, releasing Hard It Is, their debut album, 3 years later. And in 2012, they curiously released a song called Is David Bowie Dying?, which was inspired by the rumors that the musician was sick at the time, and Bowie passed away, victim from cancer, in 2016 or 15. I'm sorry, I'm not that sure. I think it's 16. It was January. And I'm sorry, it was 2016. That's right, in February 2016, 1 month after Bowie passed away at the age of 69, they performed a lot of Bowie songs on their show. About 8 songs they played: Space Oddity, Life on Mars, 5 Years, Ziggy Stardust, Fame, The Man Who Sold the World, Golden Years, and Ashes to Ashes. The next one that Bowie really liked was called Mercury Rev. They were also an American band. They were from Buffalo, New York in 1989, same year as the Nine Inch Nails. And the group was active for more than 3 decades and released 12 studio albums. The only 2 constant members since the foundation of the band were Jonathan Donahue, vocals and guitar, and Sean Grasshopper, guitar and keyboards. And the curious thing is that Bowie's longtime producer, Tony Visconti, knew the band, and he worked with Mercury Rev on their 2001 album called All Is Dream. And he was the one who connected Bowie with them. But Bowie already knew their music before. And one time they called Visconti's studio to arrange things to meet him. They would go out for lunch or something. And Visconti told Grasshopper, John Donahue, he told Grasshopper that she said after they talked, wait a minute, there's someone here that wants to talk with you. And it was Bowie. And they talked about 40 minutes on the phone. And obviously Bowie was a big fan of their music. And now the final one is Interpol. And Interpol was a band that Bowie really, really liked. They were formed in New York City in 1997, and they released their debut album Turn On the Bright Lights in 2002. And they really, obviously, all those bands really respected Bowie as well, and they were big fans of Bowie. And Interpol they were really big fans as well. And the band's vocalist Paul Banks told Vulture in 2016 that Bowie also went to see them, and that the band got a little nervous when he simply appeared and knocked on their dressing room before the show. And obviously it was not only because they were not expecting him, but because they knew they would play not to thousands of people that night, but they would also play to David Bowie, who was in the audience. I mean, everybody would get certainly more stage fright and get more stage fright and get more nervous because of that. And that's it. I hope you like the list. I hope you like the video. If you want to read more, all the details, all things that Bowie said about these bands, you can go to the description and read the article I wrote about that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comment, and visit rockandrollgarage.com. Thank you for watching, and I see you later.